Hi. I'm so excited to be making this video right now. I'm just really happy. Obviously, you already know what this video is about. The title and thumbnail, like, hello. Anyone that knows me knows how much I love cats. When I was 6 years old, my parents and I adopted 2 cats from the SPCA, and they've been a part of our family ever since. I'm an only child, so I've always joked that instead of having human siblings, I had feline siblings. But then at the end of 2016, I made a very sudden and unplanned move to California, which is across the country from where I grew up, and that meant that I had to leave my cats behind. I got a comment asking why I didn't bring them with me when I moved. A couple reasons for that. Number one, I didn't know that I was moving here. I came here to visit and then just stayed. But even if I had planned the move, I wouldn't have brought the cats anyway because I wasn't gonna take them away from my mom. You know, like, she's the one that took care of them for their entire lives, and she's so attached to them, so I wasn't gonna take them from her. Plus, I see them every time I go home to visit, so it's whatever, you know? You can probably hear the star of the show back there entertaining herself. Anyway, soon after I moved here, I started having pet fever, you know? So about 3 months after I moved here, I got my crested gecko named Zabu, who you guys all know, who, by the way, is still here. Just because I got a cat doesn't mean I don't care about her anymore, even though I'm still scared of holding her because she just jumps so much and it gives me anxiety. But yes, don't worry, she's still here. She's not going anywhere. And you know, having Zabu held me over for a little while. And then I was like, I kind of want an animal that I don't have to keep in a box. So I know I mentioned in one of my previous videos that my dad and I were thinking about getting a dog after I was done traveling for the summer. And that was something that we were really looking into. But if I'm being completely honest with you, the only reason why I wanted to get a dog is because I was under the impression that I was not allowed to get a cat. The reason I was under the impression that I couldn't get a cat is because my grandparents, who live on the property with us, had 2 retired greyhounds, one of which they were particularly worried about being around a cat. Even though I had and still have no intention of letting my cat around them because we live in 2 separate buildings on the property anyway, you know, I wasn't gonna argue that they own this place, so like I'm not gonna be that bitch, you know what I mean? But then, sadly, while I was in Delaware this past time, that dog passed away. So after I get back from Delaware, I was having a conversation with my grandmother, Emmy, and she mentioned that my grandfather was thinking about getting a cat. And I was like, okay. I want a cat. And the minute she said that and put that into my brain, I was right back to being obsessed with the idea of getting a cat. So much so that literally the next day, I drove to the animal shelter to look at cats. But once I got there, I was told that in order to even meet with one of the cats, like take it out of the cage and go play with it in one of the little rooms, you had to be 21. And I have less than 5 months until that glorious day, so I was irritated, to say the least. So I convinced Emmy a couple days later to go back to the shelter with me so that we could both look at some cats. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. I had my eye on 2 different cats at this shelter. One of them was a 1-year-old black female cat, and the other was a 4-month-old orange male kitten. So we asked to look at the black cat and sat in a room with her, and y'all, this cat could not have cared less that there were any humans in that room. All she did was dart around the room chasing various toys, and anytime you tried to pet her, she would like run away, and I just didn't bond with this cat at all. Obviously, I just want a cat and I want to give a cat a nice home, but if I don't bond with the cat and have no emotional connection whatsoever, it's not gonna be good in the long run. I tried again with the orange kitten, and he, surprisingly, even though he was a kitten, he was way calmer than she was, but still, like, no, I just didn't connect with him at all. So we left that shelter, and as we were leaving, Emmy goes, "Do you want to check out the SPCA?" And I was kind of just like, sure, whatever. They were going to be closing soon, and I didn't expect anything to happen. I thought we would just go there, look around for 10 minutes, and then leave. So we get to the SPCA. We walk in, and immediately I just loved the vibe of this place. Sorry, that sounds so like, but really though, you could tell that they really cared about the animals. They were letting some of the dogs just like walk around in the lobby, I guess you can call it. It was just a really nice atmosphere. So we asked to go into the cat room to look at the cats, and right away I see this beautiful whitish grayish cat with bright blue eyes. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot to say this in the video, but I am aware of the ear mites. The people at the shelter brought it up the first day that I met her and mentioned something about giving her medicine, but they didn't say anything about it the day that I took her home, and I honestly forgot to ask. And as of today, I do still see them in her ears, and she is still kind of scratching at it a little bit, but as I'm editing this video, it's Saturday, and the vet doesn't open until Monday, so I'm going to call them first thing on Monday and get her checked out. She starts talking to me and like coming up to the front of the cage and rubbing against it. Oh, you're so scary. You're so scary. What are you doing? You trying to impress them or something? And for the next like 15 minutes, I'm just sitting on the floor in front of this cage, petting her through the bars. And then we took her into one of the little playrooms, and y'all, I was fully in love, like right away. Ooh, what's that?
Oh.
Hey. Oh, look at her. Oh. She was so lovey and affectionate and playful, like the perfect mix of affectionate and playful, which is exactly what I was looking for. I wanted a cat that would be like my sidekick, just like by my side 24/7. And then one of the workers came up after we were playing with her for a little while, and they were like, "Are you okay? Do you have any questions?" And I just looked up at her and I was like, I want her. I just know that I want her.
Did you have any questions?
I know that I want her. But the thing that sucked was I wasn't able to pick her up for another 2 days because I had to wait until I got paid. When that day finally came, it felt like the longest 2 days of my life. I went to the pet store before I went to pick her up and got all of the supplies that I would need. You guys, this one is so cute. I'm dying. I think I might have to get this one. How much is it? 45. Okay, wait, what? I thought it was... Oh, shit. As you can see, I decided not to get the obnoxious pink carrier, mostly because it was $13 more expensive than this one. So I'm a little bummed because like I wanted to be Jeffree Star with a pink cat carrier, but it's fine. I got her little turtle toy that has catnip in it, and it comes with like a little can of catnip so you can keep refilling it. I got her this, which honestly, I have a 14-year-old cat back home in Delaware, and ever since she was a kitten, this was her favorite type of toy. This is almost identical to the one I have at home. Then I just got, you know, food and water bowl. I'm pissed because I forgot to get a mat, but it's fine. I can always get one of those later. Here's where I put the litter box, just off to the side. Litter scoop, bag of treats, which I should probably take with me to pick her up, actually. These type of toys that my other cats were always obsessed with. A collar. Oh, by the way, if anyone has tips on how to get her used to wearing a collar, let me know, because she hates it. Thanks. And listen, just hear me out. I got a harness and leash. Listen, wait. I have just low-key always wanted to try this for a cat because, like, listen, with my ant structure of a body, walking a dog is kind of terrifying for me because they can easily, just with one yank, break free and run away, and I never see them again. So with a cat, I feel like I could, you know, maybe make it work. I'm not gonna like force her into it or force her to do it, but I at least figured I would pick one of these up, and then maybe down the line we'll go for a little kitty stroll. Okay, this is not something that I'm gonna force her into doing right away. And then I got a brush, like the Furminator ones. I did want to get one of those because I know they're really good, but they're like $45, and Queen couldn't drop that much coin today, so this will have to do for now. Oh, duh, and I also got this scratching post that you have to assemble yourself, so that'll be a fun activity for later. Next time you see me, I'll be a cat mother. And then finally, it was time to go bring her home.
Let me make sure.
Hey!
No, I don't think he's in there.
Hey!
I could be down there. Athena is. Oh, so good boy. Come here, sweet girl. Right, so yeah, you guys are welcome to come in here and play with it.
Okay.
Make sure everybody gets along.
Hey, sweetie.
I brought my dad with me this time so that he could meet her and whatnot. Hey, you remember me? Yes. So we did all the formality paperwork stuff and then headed out. She was really good in the car. Meowed a little bit, but not as much as I've seen other cats do it. I started to feel a little bit bad though because it was hot in the car and she was panting. And there was so much traffic, so it was taking us even longer to get home. And I was just like freaking out because I wanted to get her safely inside the house so she could cool off and relax. Once we finally arrived at home, I brought her up to my room and let her out of the little carrier. Are you ready? Come on! Yay! You're home! Hey guys, I'm just chilling, you know. No big deal. Oh shit, what's that? She explored for a few minutes, checking everything out, and then she went behind my bed and hid for a little bit. And obviously, you know, cats just do that when they're in a new environment. But at one point, I like stuck my head over and like peeked at her in the crack between my bed and the wall. And she just went like, and then I just like said something to her, I don't know, probably something dumb in a baby voice, like, come in, you baby, you know how you do. And then she just came out. Like, all she needed was like my reassurance or something. And after that, she was just good. I hung out with her up here for like hours, but it got to a point where I was like, okay, mama gotta eat. Like, bitch was hungry. So I went downstairs and got myself something to eat. And then when I came back up, I noticed that she used the litter box with no problem. You went potty, huh? They told me at the shelter that she was already litter trained and everything, but you never know with a cat in a new environment, so I was just kind of worried. But no, she's been using the litter box with absolutely no problem the whole time she's been here. I also was a little bit worried for a bit because she didn't want to eat at first, but then later that night around midnight, I heard some little crunchy noises and looked over and she was eating, so I was like, cool. She's eating. I don't know why I'm whispering. I was starting to get kind of concerned because right before I was getting ready to go to bed, she had that burst of hyper craziness that I'm sure all cat owners are used to. What is... Oh my... What are you doing? You having a crazy moment? Yeah? Get that energy out, queen. I was kind of just like, now though? However, once I shut the lights off and closed my computer and it got quiet and I laid down, she seemed to kind of get the message that it was time to chill out. And she eventually just laid down with me on my bed and kind of just chilled out for the rest of the night. I still did wake up a bunch of times because she would get up and move around and make a little bit of noise. Then at one point she started meowing at 6:30 in the morning and that woke me up, and I thought it was because she was hungry, but then I realized it's because she probably heard my dad waking up. So then I went back to sleep until like 9:30, and then I decided it was time to expand her environment a little bit. Hey, queen. So I opened my bedroom door and let her out of my room, but I blocked off the top of the stairs just for now. We'll work our way down to the downstairs area, but that part I'm a little bit more concerned about because the downstairs is pretty much like a communal area. Like, everybody shares that part of the house, and it's a lot bigger than up here, so there's a lot more for her to get into, and I would want to be able to really pay attention to what she's doing down there. But she was perfectly fine roaming around upstairs in the hallway and in my office. I was a little bit concerned about her going in my office because it's a loft, and I was worried about her like jumping up on the ledge and then falling off or jumping off. But thankfully she didn't try that. Like, she jumped up on the ledge and kind of looked over, so that's good. And she doesn't really seem too interested in that anymore anyway, so yay. But yeah, we've just been chilling. She's a really great cat. She's asleep right now. Like, of course, when I want her to like come over here, come here. Why now? She's usually obsessed with me. Come here, Mimi. Come on, you're gonna be famous. Uno and Cheeto are shaking. Come here. There you are. This is Uma. Look at her, is she pretty? Look how pretty. She's about a year old, and they told us at the shelter that she's a Siamese mix, so I don't really know what that means. I mean, I know what a Siamese cat is, but I'm not a cat breed expert, so I don't know. I mean, she looks like a domestic short-haired cat, but with some like Siamese quirks, you know, like the blue eyes, and her face is kind of like narrow. And her markings, obviously. And in case you're wondering where the hell I got that name from, kind of like how I got Zabu's name from a TV show that I really liked as a kid called Zaboomafoo. I got Uma's name from another kids show that I really liked. Weird ass show. It was called Ooby.
Ooby, you friends.
I just loved this show for some reason. Even when I got like a little bit too old to be watching it, I would still watch it. But the little sister in that show was named Uma.
Uma Splash!
Oh.
Uma Splash.
And after meeting Uma at the shelter, for some reason that name just popped into my head. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna give her time to see if I think of a better name after I get to know her a little bit. But honestly, it fits her perfectly because she reminds me a lot of that character.
Monster!
She loves attention, like practically begs for it. She never stops talking, which is cute. But it gets to a point where it's like, I get it, queen. Like, I see you. But, you know, there's cat hair everywhere. So that's one of the prices I pay. Oh, and another price I pay is cleaning the litter box. Oh. It's really not, it doesn't smell that bad. I don't really smell anything right now. This is the one thing that I was not looking forward to. But, you know, it's the price you pay. Hey, ew, don't do that. And yes, I grew up with 3 cats for my entire life. But did I ever clean the litter box? No. The one time I ever cleaned a litter box was when I was 10 years old and I had an 8-week-old kitten living in my bedroom. That shit was traumatic though. Like, that smell was way worse than this. Like, I don't really even smell anything right now. I would take balls of toilet paper, roll them up, and stick them up my nose in attempt to, you know, soften the blow. But I think I'll be okay this time, so I'm just gonna do a little scoopy of the poopy. Haha. Oh. It really wasn't that bad. Look at me. Are you proud of me? Don't eat it again. So yeah, that's the story of my new baby. I'm so happy, you guys. She's the perfect cat, I swear. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I was so excited to introduce you guys to her. I know I've already plastered her all over all of my other social media, but I had to make a video about her because, like, duh, how could I not? Can you say bye? Can you say bye? Say bye. Bye, everybody. Why don't you meow? I mean, you meow every other second of the day. Make sure to follow all my social medias down in the description. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe for new videos every week. And make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time I upload a video. And if you would like to support me even more, you can book me on Cameo or buy my merch. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Love you, bye!